Hey everyone, it's me again, and if you don't know who it's me again, I'm Rhian, Chelsea's younger sister, the one just underneath her, and she asked me to do another vlog for her, so here we are, and let's jump right into it. He had his way, and now this is my story. Okay guys, so how many of you know or are familiar with the term imposter syndrome? Okay, I get that. Obviously this is a video, so you're not gonna actually be able to reply back to me, but I just want to kind of get your brains ticking, because my topic today is about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when you believe that you lack the ability or you don't have the capabilities to do something. So you might apply for a job and you're like, yeah, I don't think I can do this, I don't have this, I don't have that, blah blah, even if you do have those things, but you just feel like you don't. And when Chelsea asked me to do a vlog, I thought this is something that I'm really struggling with. And sometimes we're like, we shouldn't struggle with this stuff because we believe in God. We know that God is going to take care of things for us. We know what God is going to do for us, but we still go through these things. It doesn't mean we're not going to go through these things. We're still going to have these hurdles because Satan is still at work. And I suffer from imposter syndrome myself. As a lot of you should know, I've just recently graduated from university. I did a 3-year music course, and I think, yeah, if you go back to my testimony story, I did wrestle a lot with God. I didn't want to do music. I didn't think music was going to be the best way for me to go, but I trusted that God knew best, and I went ahead and did the music degree. And now I'm on the other side, and graduation day was just like, wow. I was even thankful to God that I actually got a graduation ceremony because of the whole COVID stuff. But after the wow died down, it came to the time of looking for work. And I want to go into music composition, like making music for films and stuff like that. But that's not the easiest job to come by, and it really is about who you know. And I'm an introvert, which makes it even worse because it is all about networking, and I hate networking. It's not that I don't like talking to people, it's just the anxiety builds up and I get scared, and then I start rambling and I feel like everything just goes out of the window. So I've been trying to apply for jobs. I've also been working with other people in the field, and that's when Satan has really started to whisper stuff in my ears. I will apply for something. He's like, well, can you actually do that? Are you sure that you're going to be able to handle the workload? That's a short deadline. Are you going to meet it? And these things keep creeping into my mind. I keep second guessing myself. I know I can compose. I know I can make music, and that's not me being boastful. That is me recognizing a gift that God has given to me. But sitting in front of the camera now and saying it to you all, I can say it, but sometimes we say stuff and we don't believe it. And I know that's what happens with me a lot of the time. And then I get scared to even go and approach people about wanting to do music with them. Or even there have even been times when people have approached me about doing music, and I'm like, I don't think I'm good enough for this. I don't think that I'm cut out for this. I don't think that even though I've done 3 years of studying this very thing, even though my 3 years of university added up to this moment, I still don't think I'm ready. And it makes me hold back on a lot of opportunities. It makes me second guess everything, and it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. And this doesn't just lie in me doing work or applying for jobs. This is also at church. I was nominated to be the teens leader this year, and I believe that God said to me, accept the position. But then I started to think, how am I leading a bunch of teens? How am I leading and helping them in their spiritual growth when I struggle? How am I telling them about the love of God when sometimes I doubt it? How am I telling them that they should pray and spend time with God when sometimes I struggle to do that myself? And then again, the whispers come in. Are you the right person for the job? But look at all the stuff that you do. Look at how many times you don't trust God. Look at how many times you forget to pray. Look at how many times you don't talk to God before you talk to other people about your problems. And then it makes me think, okay, maybe I'm not good enough for this. And then having people watching you, waiting for you to make a mistake. Again, that's more away from imposter syndrome, but it helps with the imposter syndrome because you don't want to make mistakes. And when you do, the voice comes in again. See, I told you weren't that good. I told you couldn't do this. I told you this wasn't for you. I said you didn't have the ability to do it. And it all comes in like a flood. And it is a horrible feeling. It is really horrible. But I didn't come to just tell you that I have imposter syndrome. I didn't just come to say that these are the things I'm struggling with. I didn't just come to be a downer. It came to encourage. Because in 2 Corinthians, let me find the verse. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 4 to 6. And such trust have we through Christ to Godward, not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of God, who also hath made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life. The voices that I hear, I'm not crazy, I'm just, when your mind's talking to you. They're not wrong. I can't do it. I don't have everything that it takes. I do tell the teens to read their Bible, to pray, but I don't do it. But that's the great news. It's not for us to do it by ourselves. As this verse said in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, it is God. On our own, we aren't sufficient. On our own, none of us make it. On our own, none of us are good enough. On our own, none of us are good enough. Let it sink in. On our own, not one of us qualify for anything. In fact, we don't even qualify for life. We do not qualify for life on our own. But the great news is that we don't have to do it on our own. We don't have to sort stuff out on our own. We don't have to have all the abilities on our own because God provides. And sometimes it is hard to remember that. I know when you're going through the situation, it's not easy to remember that or to even remind yourself about that. It's not easy to say, I know that God has got this for me. It's not easy. That's why it's a daily reminder. That's why we are told to constantly remind ourselves this, because those voices will come in and tell you that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, because we know Satan mixed truth with lies. And it is a truth. We can't, but he can. And when we are doing stuff with him, that's how we will shut out the imposter syndrome. When I apply for jobs now, I'm telling myself, in and of my own right, no, I'm not the best composer. But with the gifts God has given me, with the talents and the passions and the desires that he's put in my heart, I can do it. With him, I can do it. With him, I can sing. With him, I can play my flute. With him, I can interweave melodies together to make someone laugh or to make someone cry. With him, I can do these things. With God, I can trip up, make mistakes, sin, and still be able to say to the teens that he has allowed me to work with, still say to them, trust God and love God. I can do that, not in my own right, because of him. I can be a sinner, but I'm saved by grace. Jesus Christ died for us so that these things that Satan is trying to tell us that we will never match up, that we will never be able to make it, Jesus obliterated all of that when he died on the cross for us. Imposter syndrome is not a fun thing to have. It is not. But when those lies come in that you can't, remember, there's truth mixed with the lie. You can't on your own, but with God you can. And you have to trust him. And it's not easy. It is not easy. I am not saying it is easy. But you have to keep training your brain. When you're trying to build muscle, you have to keep exercising. You don't exercise once and then your guns pop through. It doesn't work like that. You have to keep training that muscle. And even to go into the science of things, when you're building muscle, you have to tear it. You have to tear it in order for it to keep growing. So, you know, when you're going through those painful times, when you're struggling to believe that you can, to believe that God has given you this thing and you can go forth with it, that's the tearing of the muscle. But then you come back again and then you build it back up. You get stronger, and each and every time it is going to be easier to come back around again when those lies come into your head. So again, I want to leave you with the verse. I want to leave you with it. I want you to hear it, because this is me saying it even for myself. 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 4. And such trust have we through Christ to Godward. Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of God. Remember this verse, and remember that it's not you on your own. You're working with one of the most powerful people, not only on this earth, but in the galaxy. You are working with the one. Just invite him into your journey. Just make sure that he is standing right next to you every time you take a step. And when imposter syndrome comes in, you shun it away. You shut it out, because you know that God is standing right by you. And he is our sufficiency. So I pray that you are encouraged by this. I hope that you too can block and start to walk away from the feeling of imposter syndrome. And remember, don't beat yourself up. It is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. But when you continue working at it, God will be right there working with you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye. And now